It's showtime, folks. Welcome in. Chasing Big Joe, 1025, 1063, The Game, Monday edition. Big Joe here, Chase here, Dr. Crane there. What's going on?
Well, we're still recovering from Dr. Crane through a Grammy party last night. We all went over there and watched, and my gosh.
I mean, woo, that was
something.
awesome. I got a little concerned when Ricky put the lampshade on his head, but
That was nuts.
it was.
And then,
But Keezer dared him to do it, and you know Keezer, so.
And to see Dr. Crane come to tears when Beyonce won that country album, and I said, are those good tears or bad tears? And you said to me, they're just tears. So
yeah.
I don't know which way you lean. I really don't care, but it was a good time last night.
I was concerned when you left for like 30 minutes, and I was like, where'd he go? But
I tend to do that. I wander off from time to time.
No, he came back.
Whoever brought the cheese dip, though, don't bring it.
Oh, yeah.
That was nice.
Rex Road.
Yeah.
You remember who left first? Rex Road.
The peppers, they were not good inside.
He was late.
And then Joe's like, this is not the music I grew up in the 90s. And we're like, get out of here, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it just, music evolves.
He dropped a laxative when he left.
You know that commercial with the, the dog food, and the guy's got it in his fridge, and like the friend makes fun of it.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, that was Rex Road.
Yeah, it was. But a good time. And then I've never heard anybody squeal as loud as Chase McCabe did when Diana Ross came out to give that award last night. That was so loud.
So excited.
Good. I'll admit I watched some of it like an idiot, and I was like, who's that? What's that?
I didn't watch one bit.
Smart man.
You want me to go on my soapbox now? I got a little soapbox to go on.
Sure.
So I watched the NASCAR Clash, the Busch Clash is what it was called. From the well, I guess it's not the Busch Clash anymore, but it's the Clash. And I watched that from Bowman Gray Stadium, which is in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. It is a racetrack that is built around a football field in a football stadium, but it's a permanent racetrack. It's, I think, the longest running racetrack in America.
Okay.
And it's a quarter mile. It's awesome. They have races every Saturday night. Like, if you're talking about true Americana short track racing at its best, it's at Bowman Gray. NASCAR hasn't raced there in like forever. I mean, they have, but it's been a long, long, long time. And so they did the Clash there last night, and I was glued to it. Like, I was enamored because there's no room. These cars are huge. They're, beating and banging on each other. There's wrecks, there's tempers, like all these things. And it was just so much fun to watch. And so I applaud NASCAR for going back to their roots. My soapbox is,
here we go.
As I'm sitting there watching this, and whenever I see events like this at these old tracks, like North Wilkesboro or Bowman Gray, they're going to Rockingham this year in the Xfinity and Truck Series. I just sit there going, what are we doing, Nashville? What are we doing? Look, Nashville Super Speedway, they're going to keep doing their thing.
Mm-hmm.
They're a fantastic facility. This has nothing to do with them. But why can't the Clash or the All-Star race be out at the fairgrounds? You're going to all these historic places, and, there's this stuff that gets presented, 2 years ago, whatever it was, under the old mayor, and now it just kind of sits there.
Make the call, buddy.
Like it has for the last 40 years, 30 years. It's just sitting there because there's a handful of people that get to decide the fate of it, and they, just don't want to deal with it because you got a group over here that wants it. You got a group over here that doesn't want it. And it's just like Nashville is missing out. And I know Nashville has a lot of great opportunities and a lot of great stuff that comes here.
Right.
But, could you not imagine a weekend where that place is packed and it's on national television?
But didn't they have
more money in
2 years ago? What was that 2 years ago they raced out there on CBS?
That's not even close. That was SRX. That's a defunct series now. It was barely sold out.
It was packed, right?
Right. And it was a good, like, hey, this is what it could be with NASCAR times 10.
Right.
Because like NASCAR came in, they put LED light. I mean, if they know that you care and they know that you're going to put an effort in to fix that place up, they'll probably help you.
Yeah.
And so it's just,
you could take that, right? Like, didn't the NFL take the NHL, we had the big parties here and show them hey, we're
Yeah.
what we could do. So to get you to at the Speedway.
Yeah, and
Fairgrounds.
look, I think, you know, and I mean, a prime example of things is when the banquet was here, that got the conversation started about reopening the super speedway. I mean, the super speedway sat out there for 10 years with Nissans parked on it.
That's right.
You know, I mean,
They had weddings.
Yeah, I mean, but SMI, Speedway Motorsports, came in and fixed it up. Well, Dover reopened it, and then Dover sold to SM. They came in and fixed it up, and now they're one of the premier tracks on the circuit. And I mean, it's a hot ticket. They've sold out 3 of their 4 races. And look, my thing is have both. The drivers want both. The drivers are like, they're 2 different racetracks. We'll do it. And I mean, one's downtown Nashville, one's outside in, you know, Gladeville. So it just, I don't know. I just said, I was watching it last night. My buddy Joe Williams, you know, Joe, that
JoJo.
we do the, no, you're JoJo, that we do the PA announcing for the super speedway. You know, he was kind of talking about it. It's like, man, can you imagine if, you know, doing something like this out at the fairground? Now look, Bowman Gray is different than the fairgrounds, but I'm just saying there could be an event with NASCAR behind it out there, and it would be phenomenal. So soapbox over. It's Super Bowl week. Daytona's in a couple of weeks, but I had to get that off my chest.
Well, good. I mean, it's all for the city. I agree with you, man. They should have that goes on there. So this weekend, Chaser, get your reaction. Dr. Crane, you ready to play this?
Yes, sir.
Hit it. All right, so I don't watch basketball.
Oh yeah, I was like, where are you going with this?
But when a national show, news magazine show, leads off with a trade in the NBA about what's going on, well, then it's something huge, right? I'm trying to wrap my mind around, because the NBA, I don't know.
Yeah, and for those of you texting, asking my thoughts on the Royal Rumble, we'll get to that. Don't worry,
sure.
We will talk about. Okay, so let's go through that. I guess that was late Saturday night.
Right.
The news comes out that the Lakers are, and I know there's more pieces to this trade, but the big part is the Lakers are sending Anthony Davis to Dallas for Luka Doncic.
Yeah.
And I was with our good friend Ricky, and we both were like, wait, this is not real, right? Like, you got to be kidding me. And it turns out it was. And so then let the memes start. Like, my favorite one, there was one that this guy put out on Twitter that was like, Dallas, hey, we want to acquire Anthony Davis. And the Lakers are like, yeah, we're not interested in trading Anthony Davis. It's for Luka. Anthony will be there in the morning.
Right?
It was like one of those. Like,
I was reading where they're upset at this Luka guy for his conditioning. But hasn't he?
Well, he's a little pudgy.
Yeah, hasn't he always been that way?
Yeah, but he still can play.
Exactly.
I mean, like, whatever.
But I'm telling you, with all that's going on in the world, when a national news magazine, one of the big networks, does this, leads off with that, I was like, this is monumental in a way I don't understand yet, and I'm trying to process. And so I immediately go back to thinking, what are the trades in your lifetime that just, because people are pissed. People in Dallas are upset.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
big time.
You know who's got to be happy this morning? Jerry Jones.
Oh, yeah.
He's not the dumbest guy in Dallas right now.
Right. Yeah, you're exactly right. So you start thinking about, trades that happen, and I'm like, what's a trade that happened that made you mad?
That's a good question. Like locally, or
it doesn't matter. Something you were emotionally invested in.
I mean, I think for me, even though like you kind of knew it was coming to an end when McNair left and went to Baltimore, because I think that was a trade. It ultimately is what it.
Well,
what
it could
became.
be your favorite guy going someplace else.
That was probably the biggest. Like Eddie, I knew Eddie was at the end, and I thought Chris Brown was going to be more than he was.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I was like, oh, okay, well, he's going to the Cowboys. That'll be cool. But like Steve, that hurt. Like that really, that was like, oh, it's over now. That was kind of when you realize like that group and look, it started with Derek and Samari Roll and Kevin Carter, Joe Nedney, but then Eddie, and it was just like, yeah, it's done now.
It hurt. What about you, Dr. Crane? Was it Pujols?
Yeah, Albert.
Did he get traded or he
no,
signed?
He signed with them after they won the World Series that year. It was
But
disgusting.
that cut you to the core?
Yeah, because they easily could have won about 3 or 4 more World Series.
Ouch.
Yeah, it sucks for sure. And then when he came back on his, I guess, retirement year, he was great. He had 17 plus home runs, got to his home run mark he needed to basically etch his name into the Hall of Fame, and yeah, left me with a happy face. Felt like a kid for once.
Oh man, of course, I've talked about when Dale Murphy was traded from the Braves to the Phillies in 1990. I was done with the Braves. I don't care what they did after that. And for some reason, looking back, like, why did you get upset? I was upset that Dale Murphy, who poured his heart and soul into the Braves, just shipped off. Go have fun in Philadelphia, and it was gone. I know it opened the way for David Justice, and I get all that, man. But that was one like, oh man, this stinks. And so, but it's not on the level of this Luka thing that people are. I mean, I was reading this morning, people in Dallas are livid over this. And I was like, oh man, but it's good to be passionate about something because Lord knows I'm not. Oh man.
That one will never get old. 615-737-1025. That's our phone and text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. You can weigh on anything that we're talking about. Yes, folks that are asking, I will give you a Royal Rumble thought later in the show, but there's a lot. I mean, it's a busy week. Super Bowl week. You had the trades in the NBA with their deadline next week. The Predators kind of figuring out they got 3 games left before the break for 2 weeks, kind of figuring out what's going to go on. They've lost 4 in a row, so not looking great right now. Now they're going to turn it around, especially on Friday, because we're going to be with them. So, they're going to want to show out for us. But
I got that note from Andrew Brunette to give a pep talk before the game.
Okay, so, yeah. Well, I mean, we're there.
Yeah, right.
We'll do it. Now, look, I'm going to walk in and I'm going to look at Mr. Yossi and say, "You pay attention, young man."
Yeah, right.
But
crack the skull on these guys.
A little bit.
So I'm ripping off Herb Brooks' speech from Miracle. I'll come in and say that the Kurt Russell part of that on Friday.
No, we'll rehearse it. For sure.
Back and forth.
We will have much more coming. Brett Kern going to join us at 10 o'clock today. It's Chase and Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Chasing Big Joe on a Monday, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Hope you're having a wonderful day to this point. It's a beautiful day. I had the sunroof open this morning. Had it open yesterday. I mean, we're getting a fake spring, but it's okay. We'll take it. Punxsutawney Phil did see his shadow yesterday. I think it was yesterday. And so 6 more weeks of winter. Now, Joe, did you see your shadow?
No, but the Percy Priest groundhog saw his shadow.
Okay.
So it's 8 more months of Woo Girls, 8,000 people a day moving here in gridlock. So
okay, good.
Nothing's changed, right?
You know, I was going to look at a mock draft for a second, but now I got another soapbox I want to go on. You know what I think the dumbest, like, how did Groundhog Day come to be? And why is it a thing? Because I think it's the dumbest thing ever because it doesn't, like, it has no bearing on anything. It's just this stupid thing that we say that it's like, oh, he saw a shadow, 6 more weeks of winter. And it's just like, yeah, that you know, God's going to control that, not you.
That's right.
Like, it's just, but we do it. It's a thing. It's just one of those things that we do. And we all like are, you know, just with it every year.
It says it derives from the Pennsylvania Dutch superstition that if a groundhog emerges from its Joe burrow on this day and sees its shadow, it will retreat to its den, meaning that there are 6 more weeks of winter coming your way.
Okay.
Now, why not do this in like
I like that you said Joe Burrow.
Mid-April? That'd be better. It's supposed to be cold.
Yeah, February is winter.
Right.
It's the middle of winter.
I'll do everything. That's a good one.
Contrary to popular belief, most of March is winter.
Chase, can you spell Punxsutawney?
No.
Yeah,
you know.
Dr. Crane,
neither can I.
Dr. Crane, take a stab at it.
It's like PXEUY. I don't know.
W.
I know there's a bunch of odd letters.
All right.
Chase,
POUX. No, I'm already wrong.
You're wrong, man. It's
PEUXY. I don't know.
No, it's
denominator.
Pun.
PUN.
Yep. Then X.
X.
Then Sut.
SUT.
Ani. AWNEY.
I had a cousin named Ani.
Well, maybe she was from Punxsutawney.
It's a him.
Oh,
no,
maybe.
I'm just kidding.
What a name, man. All right, well, that's done.
Yeah, so I just I don't really understand it. I mean, it's just one of those things. Well, it's kind of like daylight savings. Like, it's one of those things. Like, do we really need this anymore? But I mean, we live in a society, in a world of, well, it's the way we've always done it. So we just got to do that.
You sound like Deputy Dog from the cartoon on that one. That's pretty
well,
good.
I hate that phrase. I hate when they're like, why do you do this? Well, it's the way we've always done it. Well, okay, maybe you should change.
But people like that.
Yeah, because
people love going. No. People love going to see Punxsutawney Phil.
I mean, yeah, right. But it has no bearing on anything.
No, but I think it's just a big giant party. I mean, we saw the movie, and that's what it is. It's a big party with Ned Ryerson.
Yeah. Okay. Well, fine.
Who sells insurance?
Not sell insurance.
maybe I'm just, Baby Ruth in the Punch Bowl, and just
that's all right. You know what's good about that movie is when Bill Murray realized what's happening, becomes a smart ass. And then Ned runs over. He's like, Ned Ryerson? And just his whole fake approach to him. Such a good, underrated movie, too, as well.
And he's eating breakfast. Awesome. He goes, I'm going to be here tomorrow. I'm just going to eat all this breakfast. Oh, we got to catch it before the snow. I'm good.
Right. It's such a good movie, man.
I know what you two did after the party last night. Watch Groundhog Day.
I did watch that.
So I found it interesting when I looked, Jim Wyatt does a really good job in general, but every year during the draft, he kind of does a mock draft roundup throughout draft season, where he has like people that do their mock drafts. Who did they select for the Titans? Well, obviously this year people are paying a little more attention because the Titans have the number 1 overall pick. So this was the first tour of the mocks, as he calls it, and a look at what 20 draft analysts think the Titans will do. What's interesting to me, you tell me if you think this is a good thing or a bad thing. There's basically 4 different guys that these draft analysts are picking, and they're all like, Kuiper goes Cam Ward. Daniel Jeremiah from NFL Network goes Abdul Carter. Bucky Brooks goes Shedeur Sanders. Dane Brugler goes Cam Ward. Eric Edholm, Carter. And then finally, Matt Rooney from Bleacher Nation goes Travis Hunter. So, I mean, you got 4 different guys that are popping up.
Let me ask you this. Who are these? Like Hal Habib from Palm Beach. I mean, I've never heard of these
You
guys.
know him.
Hal Habib. Oh, Phil Perry.
Ryan Novinsky. Yeah, I mean, you know Ryan.
So, I mean, it's pretty much settled that it's Cam Ward. I mean, you look at all the people.
How are you going to say it's settled that it's Cam Ward? Most, I mean, yes,
3,
several have taken
4,
him, but
5,
Shador,
6, 7,
Carter,
8, 9, 10, 11, 12 out of the 20 think it's Cam Ward.
Yeah. I mean, but that's going to change.
They can't take Cam Ward, right? They can't. They can't.
Okay. Of the 2 quarterbacks, I think he's the better of the 2 and probably has the most upside based on what I've seen and what I've read and all that stuff. I don't think he's a number 1 overall pick. Now, if they traded back to like 3, 4, 5, and he's the best player there, okay. But number 1 overall, like, honestly, I don't know if any of these guys are truly the number 1 overall pick.
That's the problem and the point.
I mean, Travis Hunter might be the closest just because, he played both ways in college and he's just this, just out of this mind athlete, but that doesn't mean that's going to translate to the NFL.
He's pretty good, man.
He's pretty good, but I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, we've seen these guys that like, oh, he's going to be awesome, and then they're
But
average.
then again, nobody give him the ball. That's why I think bridge quarterback, you take Travis Hunter.
Okay. I'm going to ask you the hypothetical then.
Oh,
I will
like
ask the
this.
audience the hypothetical.
Yeah.
I
like
brought this up over the weekend. If I jumped in the DeLorean and I went to, and we may have kind of talked about this, but I'll revisit it. And I went to the future and I came back and I go, guys, I got the starting offense, basically for the Tennessee Titans this year. And I tell you that the offensive line, the left side pretty much stays the same. It does stay the same. Cushenberry at center, Trey Smith at right guard, and you have a draft pick in the later rounds and Radents that are duking it out for right tackle.
Okay.
All right. That's your line. Your running back doesn't change. Receivers are Ridley and Travis Hunter are your top 2 receivers. And then you sign Cooper Kupp, who's going to be cut. Cooper Kupp's your slot guy. Quarterback, Matt Stafford. Wouldn't you sign up for that all day long?
Probably. Yeah.
I'd sign up for it. I wouldn't even bat an eye. I mean, I know it would be a short-term thing, but
short-term, 2 years?
Probably. But now I'm banking that on that I'm gonna I've identified there are 2 teams that are in love with those quarterbacks, and the Giants are one of them. And so I'm gonna trade back to 3. Hunter's there at 3, but I get more draft picks, including I'm probably getting the Giants, or I'm definitely getting the Giants first, next year, and they're probably gonna have a top 5 pick.
Man, this is all you're gonna need, like spreadsheets galore laid out. Like, all right, here's what's gonna happen. And I'm a Travis Hunter fan, man. He makes plays, but then you got to have a quarterback. So my thing, if you get a bridge quarterback for 2 years, you get Hunter, you push back, like you said, gobble up more assets. And I think it's the way to go. I don't think there'll be major players in free agency. They'll go after one guy.
I don't either.
Maybe 2 guys. After the disaster of signing that class last year of Ridley, Cheeto, and Snead with the hurt knee, I just don't think they will. But I'm on board with that. But give me a quarterback, man, who's been battle tested. Whether it's Derek Carr, I don't even mind Aaron Rodgers coming here if he's gonna
look. Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with that. But I think of the quarterbacks that could be available, and look, he may not be available. And the other thing is, the question that has been asked to me when I've thrown this out there is, why would he want to come here? I mean, he's at that point in his career where if he's going to keep playing, he wants to play for a contender. I get that. But if you sell him on that, and I know, Chip says Radens sitting a right tackle. You're going to have to draft a right tackle or sign a right tackle. Like, I get it. But, I think Radens is a good, swing guy and it can be a backup. Like he's at least gotten to that point. He's serviceable. But you're gonna have to, like, if whether it's Rodgers or any of these guys that are available, you're gonna have to say, hey, here's the plan.
Right.
Here's what this is gonna look like to get them to come here. And they're gonna have to be on board with, yeah, we may not be great this year, but I got next year that I think this thing's gonna come together.
I'm telling you why you don't get Abdul Carter, and I've seen it, is that you draft him and he comes in second week of camp, pulls a hamstring, and he's out for 4 weeks.
So you don't believe this text is Abdul Carter anything like Javon Curse?
No, good Lord, no. Not even close. You
Well,
think
look,
he is?
I don't know, man.
No, he's not.
He's pretty, but I think there's one team that will do whatever it takes to take him. And it's a guy we know very, very well.
Oh, yeah. I think Vrabel.
That's a
grabs him.
Vrabel guy.
Yeah, that's fine. Stay over there.
615-737-1025. So, Matt Stafford? You signing up for Matt Stafford?
Is he out there?
He could be. There's the rumors that he could be.
I think he's riding the pony with McVay as long as they can.
But I think they might be in blowout mode. They're going to cut Kupp. Like, Kupp's going to be gone. But I think they could be in blowout mode.
I don't see it, but then again, I'm wrong and everything else.
Well, we'll take your thoughts on that. We got a few texts, 615-737-1025 here on this Monday. We're broadcasting from the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville Studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service.
Aaron Weber's on Jimmy Fallon tonight. Not funny. Chip Kelly getting $6 million is unbelievable.
Yeah, we know about that too.
Dipped down, won a national championship, and got back out. Got out.
Javon wasn't a tight end. There was a linebacker.
Who?
This guy goes, Abdul Carter is a proven defensive end. Javon was a tight end, so they're not the same.
Javon's not a tight end. Who is somebody comparing? I mean, it's night and day. They're not even close.
But he was, isn't that right? He was a linebacker. Chasing Big Joe, presented by the Omni Nashville Hotel here on 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Always appreciate them. We'll be there Thursday, and then we take off for Chicago. So it should be a fun time. All right, some of you have weighed in on this. Adam in Portland, I love you, but you're wrong on something. He says Abdul Carter is a proven defensive end. Javon was a tight end, so no, they are not the same because Javon was just a good athlete with zero track record. He was not a tight end. He was a linebacker.
Yeah.
He actually started as a safety, and then they moved him to linebacker at Florida under Steve Spurrier, and then ultimately a defensive end in the NFL.
Yeah. Remember when they popped him here, it was the whole thing. And Floyd drafted him. It was like, where are they going to put him? And they decided, you know what? Just let him go after the quarterback. And then again, in 99, if he ain't on that team, they ain't getting to the Super Bowl. I'm telling you right now.
Justin says, Robbie and Joe were talking about the drafts leading up to the 99 season. They had all these great picks leading up to that season, and that is what is missing from the current roster. I'd agree with that. They don't have enough dogs on the roster to make a serious push. They have to put lipstick on this pig for far too long. Get rid of the pig, sell off the number one pick for a haul, and draft, baby, draft.
Yeah.
I mean, look, if you look at what Floyd did basically starting in 95, it was all a buildup to 99 and 2000.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, McNair, George, who was so 95 was McNair, 96 was George, 97 was
Kenny Holmes,
and then that was also, you got Derek and a few other guys in that draft. 98 was Dyson,
correct,
and also Samari Roll. Probably a few others in there as well. 99 Kirsch was the big one. 2000 Bullock was your number one pick.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it was all kind of it's exactly what Chad Brinker and they've all been saying is like they're gonna build through the draft, and that's great. It's just, can they do it right? Because I mean,
that's the point.
I'm not saying, because I mean, like, the thing is, that's what John Robinson did. It just, he had 3 drafts where they sucked. That, I mean, you look at the core that just left here, he built that through the draft. Derrick Henry, Kevin Byard, I'm blanking. Who is the tackle that
Conklin?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
So I mean, he did a lot of that stuff, and then had the COVID drafts that it just nosedive.
No, that's the thing. You've got to build through the draft. You've got to build these guys, and hopefully after their 4th or 5th year, don't head out of here for greener pastures, which sometimes they do. But you build. We talk about these teams now, how they built through the draft. The Chiefs, and the Eagles. I mean, they build a large part of their team through the draft, and that's the thing with the Titans back then. I mean, you got to hit. You have to hit on several 5th and 6th round guys. You have to.
Yeah.
To just kind of solidify that. I mean, look at Blaine Bishop, drafted in the 7th or 8th round in 93. Yeah. Doesn't exist anymore. Yeah. And what he did, you got to hit on a few of those guys that help out. When Cortland Finnegan was drafted in the 7th round in 2006, those are things you hit on would just solidify you on the backside. But again, your first 3 rounds, those guys need to come in and pretty much start immediately. And when you got an Isaiah Wilson and a Caleb Farley and a Traylon Burks, that's awful. That's 3 years of draft number 1 guys who are just basically on this team and gone. And then he gets Skoronski, who's trying. He's given everything he's got. So I don't know. I'm not out on him yet. And Latham last year. So you start kind of rebuilding it back up again. But man, you got to hit on these guys. The Farley thing to me, Chase, you took a guy with the back. We talked about the back injury. Is just like, why? Yeah. Why would you take an injured guy?
H-Man on Twitter, we asked, would you take Cam Ward? They say if they want to go 8-8 again, well, you can't go 8-8 anymore, but you'd sign up for that right now, considering what you've been the last few years.
Oh yeah.
I mean, 8-9 or 9-8 is better than, 3-14.
3-14. There's just so much for this football team they figure out and go forward to the spots you got to fill in that I don't. People are like, well, look at the Texans, what they did in 20, but the Texans had built some nice little surrounding pieces.
You may have one decent draft class in your last 5. Like last year's draft class, jury's still out, but that might work out.
Right.
The one before that, not feeling great about it.
And don't pay a Calvin Ridley all that money.
No.
And the DBs, all that
No.
money.
Now they, I mean,
oh my God.
he came on at the end of the year, but it's like, no, I wouldn't have. Yeah. I mean, you got to build through. So look, in that Titans fans, that's what you have to be ready for. When free agency opens in March, I don't want to hear any whining that like, why haven't they done anything? I don't think they're going to do a whole lot.
I
now,
think people know now.
I mean,
it was so bad.
I do think they could go after Trey Smith. I mean, I think that would be a logical move to go after Trey Smith. Now, I hear Jared saying, well, you could go get a guard in the 4th round or whatever. That may well be true, and maybe that's what they end up doing. But again, you have so many holes that you have to fill. If you do need to pay a little bit because you have the cap space, then go get a guy that you know is going to be good for you, and then use your draft picks elsewhere.
Again, so much chaos of everything that's going on. You just kind of don't know where to begin. That's the problem. They put themselves in that spot, but it's a thing where you offensive line, they need defensive line help, what linebacker. I mean, it's just every position needs help, and you're not going to figure it all out in one draft. That's why I think trading back, bridge quarterback, gobbling up draft picks, and hope they hit on some of these guys, man.
What do you think? This is an interesting question. 3337. Does Callahan keep his job at 8-9? I mean, going from 3 to 8, yeah, I'd say yes.
If they're competitive, yes.
I mean, but still, 3 wins to 8 wins, that's a pretty big jump.
But again, he's not their guy. That's the thing. He's not their guy.
You may end up being right on this.
He's not. That's the thing, man, is that
I got to see a really big jump.
I think it's playoffs or bust. I do.
I'm not going to say that, but I'm going to say, like, to me, if he goes 8-9 next year, then yeah, he's keeping his job
right now.
That's a big jump.
Are
they
better
5
than?
wins.
Are they better than the Jags right now?
I'd say they're no.
That's a problem, right?
They're probably even, but I mean, no.
Certainly not the Colts.
No, they're the worst team in the division.
Yeah,
I'll give you that. They might. Okay, are they better than the Browns? I mean, the metric says they're the worst team in the league, but there were several teams with 3 wins. So,
but that's the thing is that they might be better than the Browns, but again, we talk about this. Got to be better than only 3 other teams
right
in your division. I think Houston has hit a wall. That's me. I think they've hit a wall.
Houston overachieved, and now they're going to take. I think what they're going to do is they're taking too many big swings. Like, do you really fire the offensive coordinator that everybody just was drooling over a year ago after one bad year?
No, and that's
like
the thing,
did he forget how to coach?
That dude's out of a job. After like he should come here and coach the Titans.
Yeah,
he's out of a job,
and
at least he called plays more than Brian Callahan did.
Yeah. Kevin says Fossil will be the interim by week 12.
I can see that.
Yeah, I mean you may be right.
Interim and then
get ready for Mike McCarthy.
Look,
I don't want Mike McCarthy.
It's
but
all
I'm just
about
telling
who you know.
Yeah, I'm just telling you what's probably going to happen.
It's all about who you know, and this little.
Hey, Chip Kelly may be on the list again.
I don't think he wants to be a head coach.
I mean,
pay me $6 million to call offensive plays. I'm doing it and not deal with nonsense.
Yeah,
I'm on that all day long.
So that happened over the weekend. He goes and wins a national championship with Ohio State after he resigned as UCLA head coach. Goes to Ohio State, wins the Natty as the OC. Now he's going back to the NFL for $6 million
and to call plays. $6 million, and that's what he's going to do.
And where's he going?
The Raiders.
Yeah.
So $6 million to do that, and you have to deal with anything.
It's a good move by Petey. I think Pete Carroll is going to put something together there.
Well, you got Tom Brady pulling the strings. Tom can't keep doing the Fox thing. He can't.
So. I think he's doing the Super Bowl, and that's probably it.
But they talked about Brady helping out behind the scenes with everything, and I just think $6 million for offensive coordinator. Robert Saleh was getting like $5 million for the 49ers.
Yep.
To call defensive plays.
Yep.
Why have the headache?
I agree.
I don't want it. I don't want it. And you
Now, look, if I had my druthers, I would go and I'd get a job one time, especially in college, so I can get the buyout. And then, yeah, let me be a coordinator.
But you talked about that. How many coaches get buyouts? How many coaches are coaching? I mean, it's a 1%.
Yeah, right.
So we're like, put me a coach of A&M. Yeah, Billy, you work at Jiffy Lube. I'm going to sign you to A&M for 3 years at $15 million a year, then fire you. I mean, that's just kind of a crazy mindset. But again, when they talk about Vrabel, like he's Ohio State bound. They don't want to deal with this nonsense at NIL. No, nobody wants to.
Yeah.
So go to the big league, baby.
615-737-1025. All right. For those of you that have been asking, I will give you my Rumble report coming up next. Chase and Big Joe, 1025, 1063, The Game. Hey, Duncan fans, come experience the new age of Duncan at the grand opening of their newly remodeled Brentwood location at 4930 Thoroughbred Lane this Friday. We're yeeting back here. Come on now. Duncan will be giving away 100 days of free coffee to the first 100 guests in line starting at 8 a.m. 100 days of free coffee for the first 100 people. Plus, Robbie and Rex Road will be broadcasting from 6 to 9 and have Preds tickets to give away. Enjoy your Dunkin' favorites in the bakery case, breakfast all day, $5 meal deals, and, of course, the delicious Dunkin' coffee. This is the grand opening of Dunkin' this Friday in Brentwood at 8 o'clock. Check that out. A lot of you have been asking my thoughts on the Royal Rumble. Playing Jey Uso's theme. He won the men's Rumble. Charlotte Flair returned to win the women's Rumble, and so they will main event WrestleMania. A couple of you asked what my biggest surprise was. I mean, I think it was that Jey won the thing. I thought they were going to give it to Cena and have Cena go into WrestleMania and, go out into the sunset. So I was kind of glad it was something different. It was entertaining. It was new. It wasn't as predictable as they have been in the past. And so I enjoyed watching it. That's just kind of what you're getting in this new era of wrestling.
Who won again?
Jey Uso.
Jey Uso. What's cool about him?
Well, that was his theme song. He's the guy that if you've watched with your son, he comes out and he waves his arms up and down. He calls it yeet. He's eating. That's his thing.
Okay.
He says yeet after everything. He was in a tag team with his brother, Jimmy, his twin brother. His dad is Rikishi, who's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so
he put his butt in your face.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah. And they do, the Usos kind of do that, to pay tribute to their dad. He's cousins with Roman Reigns, and they're in a group called the Bloodline. But yeah, I think it was cool that he's the guy. There were a few surprises. Joe Hendry, who is the TNA world champion, he was in the Rumble. AJ Styles made his return, so that was kind of big. I thought it was good. It was a good event. There were 4 matches, which you had the 2 Rumble matches, the Women's Rumble and the Men's Rumble, which both take over an hour. And then you had a tag match, which was cool. And then the world title match or WWE title match between Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens there was a ladder match, and that was cool. Kevin took a spot at the end of the match where he ended up being body slammed through a ladder that was put up between the ring and the announce table.
All right.
He sold it like no other. He basically, as he was going down, put his head in one of the rungs and just kind of is laying there.
Was he okay?
Yeah, he was fine. But people on Twitter are like, okay, Cody's celebrating, Kevin's dead, but
So last summer, Cody Rhodes won what?
Last March or April, he won the WWE title that he has now.
Was that the one in Los Angeles?
Was it in No, it was in Philly. Yeah.
Philly.
Yeah. WrestleMania.
What happened in SoFi? Which one was that?
That was the year before.
Jeez, really?
If you're thinking of WrestleMania, and he lost to Roman. Now I forgot SummerSlam. I forgot where SummerSlam.
So who's the world champion right now? I'm so confused.
There's the WWE champion, which is Cody Rhodes.
Okay.
There's the world champion, which is a guy named Gunther. And the reason there's 2 is because they're so big now, they kind of have 2 different brands. So Gunther is on Raw, Cody is on SmackDown.
Will they ever go against each other?
They have, yeah. They do that. They did that at Survivor, or yeah, it may have been Survivor Series.
So what did Joe Russo win? Jey Russo. Sorry, I'm trying to learn.
He won the Royal Rumble, so that means he chooses the champion that he wants to face in the main event at WrestleMania.
Which is Gusto or
Gunther or Cody Rhodes.
Cody
Rhodes is Dusty Rhodes' son.
Okay, I know that. Yeah. All right. Well, okay, that's good then. So right now, who's on top? Who is the top?
Cody's the top dog.
Okay.
Roman Reigns, I would say is still up there too, even though he doesn't have the belt right now, but he had it for 3 years. So
who is the most fun, crazy wrestler right now? Because I'm 80s, 90s, like the Honky Tonk Man and Hacksaw Jim Duggan and those guys. Is there a guy like that now who people just beloved?
Just is over like no other.
Yeah, I mean, he's just he comes in, you get really excited. I mean, got
probably Cody. I mean,
what's his shtick?
He's the son of a plumber. I mean, he's Dusty's son. I mean,
Okay.
I don't know. He's created his own character, the American Nightmare. You know, Dusty was the American Dream. But what's funny is I think there are guys like Kevin Owens, to me, deserves a ton more credit because he's a worker. Like he's out there doing these crazy spots. He's a fat guy that can do like a flip off a top rope, and I have a lot of respect for fat guys that can do that.
Well, heck yeah.
You know, remember how Dusty had the shirt that said "The American Dream, son of a plumber"?
Right. A long time ago.
So Kevin comes out with a shirt that says "The Canadian Dream, son of a data systems analyst." Like he does stuff like that. That's just
Does anybody carry a prop anymore?
oh yeah, you got guys that carry props.
But it's part of their identity.
Yeah, yeah.
Like who?
I knew you were going to ask me that. Well, Roman wears the Ulafala, which is the like Samoan, basically.
But he doesn't use that to beat anybody.
No, I don't know. I
Like-
can't think off the top of my head.
There's a Comic Con coming to town in a month here, big one, and the Honky Tonk Man's one of the.
Yeah, we might
somehow-
get a few.
somehow.
We're working
some
on
way.
that. A couple of people say R-Truth deserves a little more credit. Otis deserves more credit. I mean, these are guys that are obviously fun to watch.
Who's it? Did we had on? We were at the Omni that day. Wrestler, black guy, really popular.
Big E.
Yeah,
Big-
was it Big E?
Big E. I don't know.
He was a former Iowa Hawkeye, I believe, when he played football.
Yeah.
Asked,
I know, but he tweeted us out, and it went to like a couple million people.
Oh, Kofi.
Kofi.
Kingston.
Yeah. Who was he with?
Well, he's in a group called the New Day, but they're bad guys right now. They weren't in the Rumble. They're on a heel run right now, getting tons of heat, which is fun to watch.
Okay, but they're part of the WWE.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He'll be at Raw.
It's just crazy how popular this is.
Oh
It's
yeah,
just
I mean, people
crazy.
texting in right now. I mean, there was a time where you mentioned pro wrestling on sports radio, they'd fire you.
Yeah,
But now
right.
it's like people are asking, "Hey, can you talk about the Rumble?" Like, and we're now in what they call the road to WrestleMania because WrestleMania is coming up in April. And I think when is WrestleMania? It's in Vegas this year, and the Rumble kind of kicks off. It's April 19th and 20th in Las Vegas. They'll do it at Allegiant Field, or Stadium, and so this whole next couple of months is kind of the build up to WrestleMania,
Okay.
and it's fun. It's the best time. It's the best time for wrestling.
What's in July?
Into July, early August is SummerSlam,
All right.
which is kind of like the. I would say it goes WrestleMania, SummerSlam, the Rumble kind of sets up WrestleMania, Survivor, or now it's Money in the Bank, then Survivor Series.
Is it as popular as it was when Hulk took on
I think it's more popular.
Andre the Giant at the Superdome or Silverdome?
Yeah, I think it's now more popular
Crazy.
because, like, here's the thing: the deal with Netflix allows them to have a global audience. Like everything is on Netflix globally. In the US, only Raw's on Netflix, SmackDown's on USA, NXT's on CW, and the pay-per-views are still on Peacock. But globally, you can get everything on Netflix.
You'll see some of these wrestlers like, oh, who's this guy? And you'll be like, oh, he's got 3.5 million followers. I mean,
yeah.
it's just my son, all his buddies, that's all they are more into that than they are any other professional sport.
Ask your son what he thought about the Rumble and let me know.
Okay.
I would like to know JJ's thoughts.
I'm telling you, they do not talk about Will Levis or Patrick Mahomes. This whole generation, and it's nothing wrong with it. They love to sit around and watch wrestling. They love it. They absolutely love it.
Yeah, and well, as they should. Coming up next, we'll talk to Brett Kern. We'll get his thoughts. B-Man, yes, The Rock comes around every now and then. I have a feeling we might see him between now and WrestleMania. We'll talk to Brett Kern, get his thoughts on probably not wrestling. We'll get back into some football with him.
Know.
We'll do that next. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Hour number 2, chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game here on this Monday. Continuing the football conversation now. We bring in our buddy Brett Kern. You know, I was over at my alma mater, FRA, last week, spoke to their broadcasting class, and they showed me some of the things that they've done, including a fantastic interview with our friend Brett Kern. Brett, what's up?
What's going on? I'd much prefer to talk football than wrestling, considering I've never watched a wrestling match in my entire life.
I would have figured, like, all your years in the NFL that somebody would have gotten you to, because I know it's pretty popular in locker rooms.
Yep, and I haven't. So I just
that's impressive.
I got to play with a pro wrestler in Dennis Kelly, right?
Yeah.
You know, and that's as close as I got.
Yeah.
So I couldn't tell you. I couldn't name you. I mean, obviously, just from popularity of guys that are out there and all that kind of stuff. That's not my forte.
Well, Dennis Kelly's nickname was The Undertaker. So
that's right.
So there's a little nod to wrestling there. I'll get your thoughts because this just happened. It looks like Myles Garrett has requested a trade from the Cleveland Browns. Now, you know, who knows if they would actually do that or not.
Right.
But what do you think about that and him potentially being on the move?
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty darn good player that's asking for a trade, right? So I think it's just a matter of who's out there that probably has the cap space to take on his contract. And then, you know, you're looking at the dead money potentially that the Browns would have to take care of that. I mean, you look at the Saints, you know, come the new league year, you have to be under the salary cap, right, with your top 51. And so, you know, the Saints are bottom in the league at $51 million in the hole, and 48 of that is dead cap money, right? Lattimore's 31, Michael Thomas is 10. There's Jameis Winston, 7.3 million, right? And so, you know, although the Browns have the cap space, you got to be careful with that dead money. You know, they have $22 million locked up in dead money in Amari Cooper, right? So there's just a lot that has to happen. It's not just as easy as, you know, Myles Garrett saying, I want to trade, get me out of here. There's a lot of stuff that goes behind that too, and the compensation for that. But I tell you what, for a player of that caliber, you know, you look at the Patriots with $124 million in cap space this year. Vrabel's probably licking his chops with that one.
Well, and that's somebody he knows after this past year of consulting with the Cleveland Browns. And look, it's not going to happen here, but I would dream of having him as part of a pass rush, you know, with Big Jeff and Sweat on that front. That would be pretty good.
Yeah, I mean that would. And then, you know, here's the thing, right? You just obviously got done with the Senior Bowl. You know, Mike and his staff, Chad, you know, they're going through their game plans. I say plural because, you know, it's not just, hey, here's our plan A. This is what's going to happen. I mean, you have so much to come, you know, to come before the draft even comes, right? Because like I said, March 12th, that new league year comes around and you have to be below the cap. Well, I mean, look at Seattle, right? For example, they're 25 million in the hole, and they have the most players in the top 100 in salaries with 6, right? And so you look at like DK, 31 million, Tyler Lockett, 30 million, Leonard Williams, 29 million. So like teams like that have to make decisions. And so, you know, obviously the pro scouts, you know, the Titans, they've gone through and they watch every game. They know every player on every roster, practice squad, all that kind of stuff. So they know they can probably already kind of forecast based on the cap, like who's going to be available, who's going to be a cap casualty. You know, they even talk about, you know, the Titans, you know, and their contract situation. Like, are there guys that they want to restructure? Are there guys, you know, that they maybe have to let go to get some cap space, right? And so thankfully, you know, you can kind of figure out your free agency, who's going to be available, all that kind of stuff to fill some of the holes that you have. And then once that's done, then you can obviously go into the draft and say, okay, this is what we were able to accomplish through free agency. And now let's take this draft and kind of, you know, plug some more of these holes. But, you know, more importantly, you know, probably depth, because the Titans, I mean, they need depth at every position. I mean, you know, you can go through and you look at the guys that the Titans have up, right? You know, NWI and Tyler Boyd, and there's some guys that, you know, I think they have 31, 32 free agents. So it's a process, but to see something, you know, like Myles Garrett pop up for a trade, that he's probably not going to be the last one. And then, like I said, there's going to be some cap casualties, some cuts that you might be able to get.
We're talking to Brett Kern this morning on the Chase and Big Joe show. All right, so Brett, there's a big trade in the National Basketball Association that went on. Myles Garrett wants out of there. When you were playing, what's one trade, on your team or a player that left that really bugged you? Like, man, I'm going to miss this guy, and I can't believe it.
You want me to say it for him?
Are you setting this up?
No, I don't know.
Question.
Who is it?
AJ Brown.
Oh, is that the one that that drove you crazy?
Yeah. No, I mean, look, the NFL's a business. Like, it's nothing should come to a surprise. Like, when you play in the league long enough, you see everything. And so to see somebody like Myles Garrett ask for a trade, right, or to see, what happened to AJ, even something like, when Stafford and Goff, switched and all that kind of stuff. It's like, I mean, that's just the business. It's what happens. You look at free agency and you look at teams that are desperate for players and they overpay, and you're just like, man, how did this guy just get that, right? And so, I mean, I was just looking at the Eagles on Spotrac, right? They have their left guard, their center, and their right guard are all making under $5 million. The Eagles have the least amount of guys on that top 100. The only guy on the top 100 is Jalen Hurts. He's at 77 with $21.7 million in a cap hit. So I don't know the school of Howie Roseman and how he does it all, but that's what you're looking for. You're looking for guys that are really effective, good players that don't cost a ton, right? And the Eagles are managing to do it because they have a loaded roster. And looking at their contracts, it's like, this is they're doing a pretty good job. So it's the NFL. I don't know. It's nothing really surprises me anymore seeing things.
Yeah, where were you when that AJ Brown trade went down?
I don't. That's a good question. I don't know. I mean, it was the draft, right? It happened right before. It was probably at night, so I wasn't golfing. So I was probably just hanging out with the family. Honestly, probably getting ready to. I don't know. Did it happen draft night?
Yeah, it was during the first round.
Yeah, during the first round. So yeah, I mean, my son probably had the draft on. We were probably getting ready for it just to kind of watch and see. And I just remember thinking, man, well, here we go. So it's just part of the business.
Well, I know you'd played for so long, with the Broncos and here with the Titans, everything, I didn't even think about the AJ Brown, but, somebody maybe under the radar, like that you really bonded with, became friends with, and like, man, they're gone. Then you understood, like, my God, this is a business.
Yeah, I think, well, honestly, it's probably just, I mean, there's probably 30-40% roster turnover every year. Right. And so, there's just guys that you bond with. I was close with Marcus, right? Like our lockers were next to each other, and such a great guy, right? There's just so much turnover every year that you kind of bond with a guy or a couple of guys for a year, whether you're at Bible study or just, you're eating lunch together, breakfast together. You kind of have the same warm-up routine. So, you might be chatting in the hot tub a bunch, and it's just guys that you bond with. And then the next year rolls around, they might just be on a 1-year deal. You're like, man, I hope they re-sign you, and then they go somewhere else, or and it's just that happens every year. Where you get close to guys, and then the next thing you know, they're somewhere else. And I think that's why you see so many guys before a game or after a game. You got the whole jersey swap and all that kind of stuff, but fans might get upset that. Why are they, he's laughing after a game, or, they just lost. It's like, man, this is my dude, right? For a year or 2-3 years. Right. I remember Jackie Battle, right? Our families were close. Our daughters were the same age. Right. And he was here for a short time, and like, man, he played so well. Like, I loved him on special teams. And then, next thing you know, Titans don't re-sign him. And so that stuff happens, every year. And, it's hard, cause you got some brothers that you're playing this game with, and the next thing we call the NFL the not for long league, right? So it happens quick.
I completely forgot about Jackie Battle.
Yeah,
I thought you were referring to Will Ferrell and semi-pro Jackie Moon on that. But Jackie Battle, Brett, is the guy that I'm talking. A guy that it's like I don't remember him, but that's okay. But he's a guy that impacted you, obviously, and so. But then, you're here today and you're gone tomorrow. But Jackie Battle, I'll be damned.
Yeah, and there's a lot of guys, especially with special teams, a lot of guys come in on like 1-year deals, maybe 2-year deals if you're fortunate, right? And you see how they play on special teams. You're like, oh man, I need this guy next year. Like, you made such a difference on punt coverage, or he was great on kickoff coverage, or he was a core 4 guy, right? And those guys tend to bounce around a lot. And unless you're, Slater up in New England, where you could play up there for 15, 16 years. But, I guess I look at it a little bit differently, because special teams is, like I said, a lot of guys are on the 1-year deals. And so, there'd be guys that I'd grow really close with, just because you're in all the meetings together, special teams wise. And then, and then they're gone, and then you got to find the next guy to come in and replace them. So.
Brett Kern is with us. Real quick, this matchup, obviously you witnessed it a few years ago as the Eagles took on the Kansas City Chiefs. You can't stop Patrick Mahomes. It's just trying to slow him down. Do you think that the best bet for the Eagles is going to be to key in on this, not all-star receiver core, and knowing that you got to start with Kelsey, and then on the other side, is this where we could see the DeAndre Hopkins kind of step up for Kansas City, knowing that the Eagles are going to bring that kind of pressure?
Yeah, I mean, real quickly, there's some stuff that, you kind of what's going to give, right? Saquon's, averaging almost 150 yards in the playoffs with 14 out of 19 games over 100, but the Chiefs have gone 18 in a row without allowing a 100-yard rusher. So what's going to give there? The Eagles, can they stop Mahomes? It's like Mahomes doesn't really run a lot during the regular season, but last year he went 9 for 66. Was the leading rusher for the Chiefs, right? And I feel like he was kind of that X factor with his legs against the Bills. So are they going to be able to contain him? Because he seems like he can escape outside the pocket, and he knows when to run, and he can escape inside the pocket and still knows when to run, right? If the Chiefs try to stop Saquon, can Jalen throw it to Dallas, and can he throw to AJ and Smith, right? They did not that didn't really happen very much in the first 2 playoff games, but against the Commanders, they were able to do that. Jalen was able to do that effectively, right? And so the last one is a stat that I found is that Mahomes, down the stretch, 7 for 7, game tying or going ahead drives in the final 5 of the fourth or OT, 7 for 7. And he's 3-1 when he's down by double digits in a Super Bowl. Everybody else is 4 and 48. Like, so this dude, like he finds a way to win, right? And the last time, the Chiefs and the Eagles played, we were up, I think 10 at half, and obviously we lost. So, there's just that. Can they really control the X factor of Mahomes? I don't know. We'll see, but it'll be a good matchup. And I know the Eagles will, obviously with what happened the last time, they're going to be ready to roll.
Brett, when you were at the Eagles 2 years ago at the Super Bowl, did you have that Joe Montana moment where, that famous story, Joe Montana is about to lead the 49ers down the field, and he looks over in the end zone. He's like, hey, there's John Candy. And he's like telling his teammates, hey, there's John Candy in the end zone. Was there any starstruck moment for you in the Super Bowl 2 years ago? Like, oh my God, look at so-and-so.
Not really. Actually, for me, it was in the NFC Championship game because Joel Embiid and Kevin Hart came in together.
Oh my Lord.
Joel Embiid standing next to Kevin Hart. I tell you what, I lost it. I was laughing pretty hard. And but the Super Bowl, there's so much commotion, and it's kind of chaotic on the sidelines. I don't remember who was on the sidelines. I think I was just out there on the field just trying to soak it all in. And I didn't really care who was on the sidelines. I was just trying to enjoy the moment of being there and knowing that was, going to be my last experience on a football field. But it's chaos. It is pure chaos. I think they'll fly in today, and they'll have media probably tonight, maybe tomorrow night. And it's a crazy week.
So Joel Embiid's like 7 feet tall, and Kevin Hart's like 5'2", right?
Yeah, pretty close to that. So it was like they took a picture together, and I think Kevin Hart came up to like Joel's belly button, maybe.
Oh, what a memory, man! I love that.
Yeah, that one just sticks with me for some reason. So,
getting questions from Jared doesn't stick with you.
Well, I don't even know if I ever had an official interview with Jared.
You may not have. I know I
had more with Kaharski. That was more after the game in the locker room stuff. I don't think I've ever had an official interview with Jared. So
I know the funniest thing was at the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. was AJ looks up and sees him and goes, "Uh-oh." Basically like, I know what you're about to bring.
Yeah, you can, in that media night, you're in the arena and it's just chaos, right? You got people coming up to you and they might ask you a really good football question, and then you might have somebody come up from nothing football related and ask you, like, do you prefer a hamburger or hot dog on July 4th? It's just, you never know what you're going to get. But you can kind of dodge, duck, dive, because there's so many people on the floor. So I'm sure if AJ saw that, he had a big arena floor to kind of hide. So
for sure. Well, Brett, appreciate the time as always. We'll see how the big game turns out and continue the draft talk for sure.
Yep. Sounds good. Y'all have a good week.
You too. Brett Kern joining us here on the program as he does every Monday at 10. We'll have more coming here on Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Little Caddyshack, bringing us back. Good movie.
I got a question for you.
Okay.
Dr. Crane, you can weigh in on this. What if they allowed trades in college?
It's not a what if, it's a when. I think that's coming. In some way, I think that's coming.
Then you need to scrap the whole student athlete nonsense.
Well, I haven't. I think that's been pretty much done.
Right.
But like what? So I think it's a great question because
Right.
I feel like at some point it's going to be, let's say I'm coaching at, Cromwell U and you're coaching at Cromwell State, right?
Okay.
And Dr. Crane is, a really, really good player, but I just don't have room for him. You call me like, hey, I got a guy that, he's Dr. Crane's a linebacker. Like, I got a guy that's a running back. What's the stop? I mean, I think that's going to happen at some point.
But
You
that's
trade
just
scholarships.
crazy. Because you got to figure in class, right? You're a
Yeah,
student
yeah.
athlete.
But I mean, like,
You got to do that.
you can transfer.
Yeah, during the break.
Yeah. I don't know.
But you get traded immediately and play immediately.
It's not going to be as cut and dry as it is in pro sports, but I do think there's going to be some form of trading.
I agree. I think they'll be like, week 4 is your deadline.
Yeah.
You can't do like week 10, but week 4.
Yeah.
But can you imagine, like, oh my God, Blockbuster Nico is going to Florida for 7 players.
Yeah.
I mean, they've managed to ruin it to this degree because now they're pushing the game back to late January and all that's going on. I see them doing this. I totally see them doing this and having trades in college, man. It's not, especially, I mean, this is not just football, but basketball as well. One guy plays Saturday, then turns on plays against you on, he's on your team on Wednesday. Nuts.
That'd be something. That would be something if that was happening. We went a little long with Brett, so we'll step away real quick and come back with more. Chasing Big Joe presented by the Omni Nashville Hotel here on 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game here on this Monday. Had to think about that for a minute. What is the?
Beverly Hills.
Oh, is that?
Yeah, it's
oh,
the
okay.
whole theme song with the
Axel Foley, baby.
Okay, I was like, what is that?
Gives a little extra character to the intro.
Preds fans, don't miss Smashville Live this Wednesday night at Brewhouse 100 in Bellevue. See your Predator star players up close and personal, and also get autographs and pictures this Wednesday at Brewhouse 100 in Bellevue. We'll know players here soon.
Let me ask you this. I'm looking up unique facts about the Kansas City Chiefs, just things out of the blue. Do you believe this? The Kansas City Chiefs were named after H. Roe Bartle, who was the mayor of Kansas City in the early 1960s. Mayor Bartle's nickname was Chief. He played an important part in bringing the Dallas Texans to Kansas City. The team was named in his honor after a fan competition to give the newly installed side team a fresh new name. You believe that?
How about that? No, I did not know that.
I mean, I don't believe. I mean, come on. Fans wanted to get a mayor and name him Chief. I don't know, right?
I'm not.
Then why'd you call it Arrowhead Stadium?
I'm not sure I'm buying that.
Yeah, me neither. But these other fun facts about the Chiefs, you know, they have a tight end who's dating Taylor Swift.
I heard that.
That's how pedestrian this website is. And many legendary players have played for the Chiefs. Oh my goodness. That's what I get for looking this and going down.
Can you name 5 Chief player, like legendary Chief players right now?
Yes. Lenny Dawson, Buck Buchanan. Are you killing me, man? That's 2.
You got this.
Trent Green, you played for him. Not
I don't
legendary.
know if he's legendary.
Neil Smith played for him in the 90s and 80s. And
there's a big one. Come on.
Good. Hold on, man. You put me on the spot here. Jeez. I don't.
Tony Gonzalez.
Tony Gonzalez. Good Lord, Joe. That's terrible. Terrible.
You could have said Joe Montana
Or Marcus Allen.
Yep.
Or Dwayne Bowe.
Dwayne Bowe.
Dwayne Bowe. That's a good one. I mean, Montana had one good year with them with Marty Schottenheimer, right?
He too. 93, 94.
Did they make the title game one year?
They made the AFC Championship game and got beat by the Buffalo Bills 93.
Isn't that crazy?
It is.
Like, people don't remember that.
No. And Derek Thomas, duh, of course, but never won a Super Bowl with him.
Yeah.
And, and so now they're about to win their 5th, if they win on Sunday, but their 5th Super Bowl championship.
Which, I mean, would be in 4th and, 5
pretty good
years. Yeah. That'd be pretty awesome. And I just I love it for Andy Reid, because Andy Reid is just such a good dude.
Don't do it.
What? I'm not.
No, Dr. Crane making sure he wasn't paying attention. Good.
No, I'm writing out some stuff. You're good.
All right. Thank you.
So right now, your love letter? Or?
Nah, some notes and a poem? Yes, I'm writing a poem.
Okay. Okay.
My list to the shopping market.
By the way, Smashville Live this week will be Justin Barron and Nick Blankenberg. So a couple of defensemen will be the guests this week.
All right. Well, good. And that's going to be where again?
Brewhouse 100 there in Bellevue. That's where it will be.
That's out in your neck of the woods.
It
man.
Sure is.
Probably been out. Where are you watching the game Sunday?
I don't know yet. To be determined.
Do you like watching big games in a bar?
No, because you usually don't. You're kind of halfway paying attention.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I prefer the Super Bowl. I prefer a party, go to somebody's house or come to my house and do bring stuff, and because it's a lot more relaxed.
I'm with you. And then you got the part of the party that tells you to shut up during the commercials because they watch commercials, and then they react to them. I don't know. I don't mind. For years I was like, I'm watching it by myself, and now I've kind of evolved. I don't mind watching with a few people, but I mean, we watched a Tennessee Ohio State game in a bar. That was okay.
Yeah.
Because you had every TV was turned on to that game. The sound was up. I don't mind that. But you go to a bar and there's different games on and different interests that are happening. I was like, I'm not a part of this. But I don't know. I mean, Sunday will be here before we know it, and watch the game someplace special.
Yeah.
Maybe with your buddy Phil. Maybe he'll have a party at Brewhouse.
I mean, probably.
Yeah.
Think Ronald will be there, Joe?
Who's that?
Ronald?
Ronald will be there.
Okay.
Ronald's a good dude. He's a real good, big
Do we
fan of y'all's show too.
Do we know Ronald?
You'll know Ronald in the break.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
We know
Gotcha.
Ronald.
Good. Love Ronald. Does a good job for sure. What's new with you? I
So-
thought you had some more fun facts for us.
I do. I told you in the break that there's this guy put on Twitter. It says that there's only one Super Bowl been decided on the last play of regulation. And he said that was the Super Bowl where the Patriots beat the Rams in 2001 season. And you're like, well, no, the Titans-Rams game was settled on the last play.
Yep.
So now I'm in these argument in Twitter, and the guy's like, well, by your dumb logic, every one-score Super Bowl was decided on the last play. Well, kind of with all that, but
Right, but the game ended on that. The game
Right.
was decided on that play because either the Rams were going to win or the Titans were going to score a touchdown with the potential to tie on an extra point.
now the better
Or
use
win
of
the
that question was what Super Bowl ended with a walk-off, basically. There was a play that in regulation, and that's the only one that I'm coming up with.
Which one?
Vinatieri kicked the field goal over the Rams in the 2001 season. That's the 9/11
Probably.
season played down there.
I mean, because I brought up Malcolm Butler, but I think Brady had to come in and sit on it and kneel it out.
I think you're right. Yeah.
But,
So the question was, Adam Vinatieri hits a 48-yard field goal. As time expires, give the Patriots their first Super Bowl title. The only Super Bowl decided on the final play of regulation, which is wrong because the Titans-Ram was decided on the final play of regulation.
all right, this is from last year, ranking the 15 greatest endings in Super Bowl history.
Okay, good.
We will start with, I'll just go from 15. Super Bowl 10, Steelers Cowboys. Steelers won 21-17. File this under this would never happen in today's NFL. Ahead 21-17 and facing 4th and 9 on the Cowboys 41 with 1:28 left. Steelers coach Chuck Noll called a running play that gained 2 yards. Noll's questionable decision was due to the struggles of his punter kicker that day, as well as the faith that he had in his defense. Noll's faith was rewarded when safety Mike Wagner deflected Roger Staubach's Hail Mary throw to the Steelers' end zone on the game's final play. The pass was picked off by fellow safety Glenn Edwards, whose 35-yard return chewed up the remaining seconds on the game clock.
Okay, that's a good one.
Super Bowl 46, I think. Giants 21, Patriots 17. That was the Mario Manningham. That was the second one.
Right.
3:46 left. Super Bowl 40 or 52. Eagles 41, Patriots 33. People forget that the Eagles actually trailed in this game before taking the lead on Zach Ertz's 11-yard touchdown pass from Nick Foles with 2:21 left. Philadelphia extended its lead to 8 points with a field goal after Derek Barnett recovered Brandon Graham's forced fumble of Tom Brady. Similar to a previous Super Bowl, Brady was able to get the Patriots in position for a last-second heave to the end zone with the entire city of Philadelphia holding its breath. Brady's pass fell harmlessly to the turf. Super Bowl 5. This is number 12. Colts 16, Cowboys 13.
Field goal, end of the game.
Yep. 11th. The Patriots Panthers Super Bowl in 2004.
Good one. Another Vinatieri.
Yep. Number 10. Broncos 31, Packers 24. This was in 98.
That's the Elway first championship.
Was that the helicopter?
Yes.
Then you got Patriots 34, Falcons 28 in overtime in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
That was number 9. Number 8, 89, 49ers Bengals.
Let's go. That's the Joe Montana, John Taylor, John Candy in the end zone.
Yep. February 11th, 2024. So I guess that's last year. Chiefs 25, 49ers 22 in overtime.
Good one.
6th, 2002, Patriots beat the Rams 20-17.
That's it. Yep.
That was the one you
Yep.
were just talking about. Number 5, 1991. Giants Bills
Good one.
20-19.
Yeah, Norwood missed the field goal.
Number 4, 2009, Steelers Cardinals. Steelers 27, Cardinals 23.
Great Super Bowl.
That was a good one. Number 3, 1 yard short. We we know the rest.
Yeah, right.
Number 2, 2015 Patriots 28, Seahawks 24.
Great
Interception.
Great
And
ending.
according to CBS, the number 1 would be the bubblegum catch. Giants 17, Patriots 14.
Yep, that's all. I will not argue with any of
I'm good with
those.
that.
Yeah.
I'm good with that. So there you go. Coming up next, we will tell you what day it is and also celebrity birthdays. And we have a new sponsor for celebrity birthdays. We'll tell you about that. Looking forward to that coming up next. Also, want to tell you about Nashville's best deal, which is Princess Hot Chicken, the original and iconic hot chicken joint. Get half off a $25 gift card now while supplies last at thegamenashville.com/deals. That gift card is only good for the Tanger outlets in Antioch and inside Assembly Food Hall in downtown Nashville. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game here on this Monday. Again, Stillman and Company, Jared is going to be out in New Orleans all week. So you're definitely going to want to check that out from 2 to 6. He'll have some great interviews from Radio Row in New Orleans. I know he's got a lot of stuff. Mad Dog Russo's lined up. Rich Gannon's lined up. Going to be several others that he will be speaking to this week on Radio Row. So really looking forward to that. Brought to you by Jared Stillman. So looking forward to that and having him out there. With that, let's get to what day is it and celebrity birthdays. And we are very excited. At least this is sponsored. Celebrity Birthdays is brought to you by Jarrett Companies, Inc., above and beyond industry standards.
All right,
great.
Let's do this thing. First on the list we have is American Painters Day. So shout out to the painters.
Yeah, man.
Doggy date night.
Whoa.
Whoa. Yeah, doggy date night is next. So it's a tongue twister. There's
Lord.
triple D. It's ridiculous. Let's see. Elmo's birthday is after that. So happy birthday to Elmo.
Do you know who Elmo is?
Yeah, like
Okay.
Elmo, the red little Elmo's world.
The Muppet.
Yeah, that guy.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. For Chaplain's Memorial Day. That's today. Let's see. International Golden Retriever Day.
Yeah.
Great animal. Let's see. National Carrot Cake Day. So if you like carrot cake, grab you a slice.
Do that.
Let's see. National Cordova Ice Worm Day. Cordova worms. All I know is if they're in 40 degrees, they end up dying. But if they're 32 or below, they're alive. They live in the snow. National Missing Persons Day. So there's that. National Patient Recognition Day. National Wedding Ring Day.
Okay.
National Women's Physicians Day. Shout out to my cousin, by the way. She is now,
Okay.
as of today, a registered physician.
Doctor.
Nice.
Physician's assistant, excuse me. Let's see. Take a Cruise Day. And to wrap it up, the day the music died.
Oh, was that today, Buddy Holly?
The airplane crash.
Did not know that.
And again, we're excited to have Jarrett Companies on with us for this segment every day. The only company you need for commercial construction services. Just give them a visit at jarrettcompanies.inc.com. Excited to have them on board.
Absolutely. Love it. All right, time for celebrity birthdays. Have to get it within two. Our first birthday is Blythe Danner. She is the girl that was married to Coldplay guy. Her name's escaping me right now. What's her name? She was in the dumb movie Country Song, and I see your face. She was in Contagion.
I thought you just
Gwyneth
said
Paltrow.
Oh, Gwyneth Paltrow?
That's her daughter. Yeah.
Oh,
but
okay.
This is her mom, Blythe Danner.
77.
80.
82.
Nice.
Dr. Crane. Well done, buddy. Morgan Fairchild.
Oh, that's a good one.
How old is Morgan Fairchild?
Morgan Fairchild, 72.
80.
74. Tied at 1. I'm liking this so far. Nathan Lane.
70.
65.
69.
Nice.
Chase up 2 to 1. Down here. Oh, actress Mara Tierney. She was on ER. She was on the show The Affair.
Oh, yeah. 57.
61.
60. Tied at 2. You guys are killing it this week so far, starting off. Okay. Star Wars actor Warwick Davis. He looks like a little tiny guy. He must be like R2-D2.
52.
50.
55. So close. Isla Fisher. She's married to Borat. She was the crazy girl in Wedding Crashers.
Oh, yeah. 46.
52.
49. You guys right in the middle of that. Let's see here. Some more. A lot of drummers today. Country singer Matresa Berg, who lives here in Nashville.
Matresa?
Matresa.
I'm going to say 55.
45.
61. Rapper Sean Kingston.
43.
40.
35. Fran Tarkington, legendary quarterback from Georgia, played for the Giants and the Vikings.
72.
69.
85. Bob Greasy, former Dolphins quarterback of the last unbeaten professional football team.
77.
72.
80. We're tied at 2. Fred Lynn, former Boston Red Sox outfielder for many, many, many years.
72.
65.
73. Chase up 3-2. Vlade Divac, former Laker center. Was he traded for Kobe Bryant?
I think he was a part of that.
Yep.
Yeah, and he was part of the Raptors organization in some regard.
Yeah.
Chase up 3-2.
57.
62.
Chase hit it on the head. 57. He's up 5-2. Last birthday golfer Retief Goosen.
60.
38.
56. Chase wins 5-2. We had promise starting out, and then it just kind of fizzled with a lot of people we've never heard of.
Celebrity birthdays brought to you by Jarrett Companies. Commercial plumbing and HVAC, all forms of HVAC units, commercial refrigeration, grease trap cleaning. I probably need that. Visit them at jarrettcompanies.com. Appreciate them and excited to have them on board. That will do it for us.
Yes, it is. All right. A new month is here. It's a Monday. You got this. If you need to talk to somebody, remember, before you do anything, please talk to somebody. We get this message every day, and we love you guys. 988 on your cell phone. You can dial, you can text or call that. Somebody's always there to talk to you. We're always here for you as well. Look, we know sometimes the journey is rocky and the road is bumpy, but I'm telling you, it smooths out because you got people around you that love you. So if you're going through something, just be strong. Know we're here for you. Know we love you. And more importantly, more than anything else, God loves you.
Amen to that. Peace, love, rock and roll. DVD is next here on 102.5, 106.3 The Game.